All right, you feather merchants. This video is going to be about how inmates make weapons inside prison. And I can't tell you how many comments I've read about people saying, oh, the guards bring in those weapons. You know, they can't make weapons in there. Well, I'm telling you, these guys can make weapons, and they do. And I'm going to give you some examples of how they do it. First of all, they can make, just out of a plastic bag, they could take that and melt it down into a plastic weapon and insert like a metal piece at the front of it, to where it helps penetrate the body. And the way they do this is you take these plastic bags that the housing units, they use them, all the housing units use them, and the inmates will put socks on their hand for gloves, so they don't burn their hand. And you take toilet paper, put it on your the stainless steel toilet that's in your cell, and they light it on fire, and then you take the bag and you just have it rolled up, and you move it back and forth over the heat, roll it on the concrete, put a heat on it again, roll it out. Maybe it takes an hour, maybe an hour, and you can get a nice weapon out of that. And if you get a hold of a paper clip, easy to get from the clerks that work in the program office, they'll give you a paper clip, and you straighten it out, just stick it in there when it's still the plastic is still heated, and you have a nice tip. Anything out of plastic, the shampoo bottles, they use those, they melt them down, and the same process. They heat it over the fire that's created from the rolled up toilet paper, and roll it out on the floor, and you can shape them into a weapon. Although, as far as metal weapons, they're really good at this too. Your dining halls, they, even on the place like Pelican Bay, they feed these people, right? And they have so a lot of food comes in a can, the sauces and so forth, and they don't always use all of them at the main kitchen. They use them in the satellite dining rooms on the yard. And those cans, when they open them, if an inmate gets a hold of that metal, you can make a real nice knife out of the cans easy, by folding it and rubbing it, honing it down on the concrete. Another innovative way they do it is they have clerks, inmate clerks, that work in the program offices, right? And they're not under the watchful eye of a correctional officer the whole time they're there. They're doing their job, and when they see a moment where no one's watching, they'll take paper clips. They'll take. Now this is really good. This is a tool that they use inside prison to cut metal, like embeds in this cell. And I'll explain what a embed is. But right here, let's see if I can get this on the camera. That is a paper clip. Now, this is made out of spring steel that's hard. And basically, what I'm looking at here, you got 3 different cutting agents. And they just take, take the black portion, the black metal portion, and fold it back and forth until it breaks off. Now you got 3 cutting agents. And like I said, that's spring steel. And they even have the small paper clips that do the same thing. And inside all these cells, you've got embedded metal. All this is mild steel. And like I said, this is spring steel. And they'll have the embeds in there. That's where the door frame is welded to the embeds. And that's how the toilet fixtures, they're secured, the bunks are secured. They're welded to these embeds. And if an inmate gets a hold of these, which they do, they can use that cutting agent and scribe exactly the size of the weapon they want and just keep going over it and over it, over it again. And it's going to cut into that mild steel, and eventually a weapon will come out, or a piece of metal that can be honed down into a really nice weapon, which they refer to as bone crushers. And what they'll do to sharpen it, underneath their bunk, they'll go underneath the bunk and they'll sharpen it on the concrete. And it takes time, but they got they got nothing but time, you know. And then they'll to hide them, they'll go to the corner of the cell. You got a caulking agent in there, and they'll dig that out, slip it in there, and make like a wall safe. These guys are clever, you know. They're not stupid. And then you got to figure, okay, so now there's a hole in the embed. Well, these guys, they'll take paper, cloth, whatever they have, they get it wet, they'll start packing that in that void that the metal was cut out of, and they'll take paint chips that they create from the wall, and they mix up their own paint and paint over it. And I'm telling you, you can't see it. It's really incredible how good these guys are at doing this. And then you got to figure, in the shoe, they got the concrete. Everything's concrete there, except of course the stainless steel toilet. They're not going to cut it out of there. But you figure in GP cells, you've got the metal lockers. You can easily take that cutting tool and cut a sliver off of the metal locker, and they do it in a way where it's really hard to see it. You know, it's undetectable, and they make really, they make really good weapons out of those. You know, the big riot that we had in 2000, we hit those cells several days prior to the riot, because there was word that something was going to happen. They just didn't know when. They didn't know for sure. But anyway, they did a lot of cell searches, so they lost a lot of their metal. And most of those weapons that were used in the riot, they were made that night. I mean, some of them were righteous, but most of them were made that evening, and they had to resort to using plastic. That's why you see inmates getting stabbed like repeatedly, and they didn't die. You know, they got all stabbed up, but they were using plastic in a lot of cases, and of course razor blades. All right, what they do, the officer will come around in a housing unit, and they have all the razors marked, what cell they go into, and the inmate will take the razor, use it to shave their head or whatever, and put it back in the holder when the officer comes back to get it. So the officer looks at the razor, the blade is there, but so a lot of times the blade isn't there. There's a tinfoil in place of the blade, and the blade is being molded into a plastic weapon that will be very effective in cutting someone's neck. And what another one that they use? I just had it in my mind, but I lost it. The point is weapons are so easy to make, and you got to figure Pelican Bay State Prison. That was kind of like at the time when I worked there, that was like a giant criminal university. It was unbelievable. Guys didn't go there to rehabilitate. They went there to hone their criminal skills. And that's what most of them did, and they were really good at it. Anyway, I can't think of anything that I missed. But basically, that's how they make weapons, and they make them all day long there. It's easy to do. And you feather merchants, you have a good day. All right.